Hi, and welcome to this new edition of Learning by MyMimes. Today we're going to talk about spin selling. Spin selling was invented by a company in the UK called Hathaway, and the key thing about spin selling is that this methodology was invented by observing more than 35,000 sales calls. So what is spin selling is about? Spin selling is about asking 4 types of questions that the sellers may ask, which will make their sales call much more effective. So the S stands for situation question, the P, problem questions, the I, implication questions, and the N, the need payoff questions. Now, let's take a quick look at each one of them. So the S questions are basically questions that the sellers ask, and their objectives is to collect facts, to collect backgrounds. Examples might be how many customers you have, what type of machines you use, can you give me more details about your industry. Next, after collecting the background and the facts, now the seller wants to uncover problems, difficulties. So it's time to ask what we call the problem questions. So their objectives is to identify problems that we call them implied needs in the spin language. So examples might be, so how many people have difficulty in using your machine? Are you satisfied with your current team performance? Next, the seller, after identifying and uncovering problems, the seller wants now to magnify those problems. And how he does that is by linking them or extending them to their consequences. So their objectives is to identify consequences of existing problems. So examples might be, so you spoke about poor customer service. So how many customers did you lose because of that? You spoke about high turnover. So how did that impact your company's image? So again, we're magnifying those problems. And the last type of questions to ask is the need payoff questions. So those are questions that the sellers ask just before proposing their solutions. And their objectives, is to kind of give more appetite to the buyers by letting them feel the impact and the payoffs of those solutions prior to proposing those solutions. So their objectives is to identify the value, the payoffs, or identify what we call the explicit needs in the spin language. So examples might be, how much would you save if you were able to deliver on time? How does payment on time will improve the relationship with your suppliers? So by asking those 4 types of questions, the buyer is now ready to listen to the solution, and the sales call will be much more efficient. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.